Wednesday, everybody. Hello, Flosstube. My name is Caroline. Welcome back. It is Wednesday, April 22nd, closing in on the end of April. Oh, I'd say it's gone fast, but well, it has kind of gone fast. It's still really kind of gone fast, which is interesting. Hope everybody's doing okay. I have a few crafty things to share with you and the final high tea giveaway to give away today. So if you're new here, high tea is something that this year I'm celebrating 4 times a year, every 3 months. First day of every 3 months, so January 1st, the next one was April 1st, and it's where I take something really special from my stash that I've been saving and use it. And either, you know, this time around in April, a friend gifted me the pattern. I purchased the fabric and I had the floss in my stash for at least 2 years. And so that was the special thing that I pulled to use. And in conjunction with starting something new, I also do a giveaway. So this time around, I offered 3 PDF chart giveaways, 1 per week over the last 3 weeks, and today is the last one. They took place in various places here on YouTube, Instagram, and today the very last one was from the Facebook group Friday Off the Grid, and there were 121 comments, and the number that was chosen, which one was it? Was 46 or 47? I can't remember exactly which number. Maybe it was even 48. Anyways, the winner was Jan Rundle. So congratulations, Jan. You are the very last winner of this month's high tea. I have messaged you already over on the Facebook group, and when you get in touch with me, I will see which PDF it is which PDF from which designer it is that you're most interested in receiving as your gift. So congratulations. I did a little bit of stitching last night, so let me share that with you first. And shocker, it was not Savon. I decided to put some work into my Brenda Gervais Autumn's Fruitful Labor piece, because who doesn't want to stitch a giant carrot? I mean, that carrot pleases me. I think it's really quite fun. And the bird, I mean, I always, if there's a bird or a house in it, it's guaranteed pretty much that I want to stitch it. And I'm looking forward to getting to these 2 birds here. So I started this a couple of years ago, and it sort of sat for the last couple of years. And last night I did some fill-in work on the diamonds down here, so I only have a couple of those left. I'll finish these tonight. And you know, these actually take a fair bit longer than you think they're going to. And I finished off a little acorn from the bird's mouth. So tonight I will finish the rest of those diamonds. I'll finish the acorns, and then I'd like to carry on with the sunflowers along the bottom of the border there. Try to finish those up, and then this is going to be a piece that I carry into, oops, you can't see it. I have no progress up here. I should just hold it upside down and then you'd actually see that I have some stitching done on it. I'm going to be working on this piece this weekend for the 24 hours of cross stitch marathon that is taking place, and I neglected to give you more information on that yesterday. If you don't know what that is, it's super fun, and I have nothing to do with it. I participate in it, but it is the brainchild of Jen Lee, who is Quirks and Stitches here on YouTube. She and her mom, Cindy, came up with this idea last year or the year before for these 24 hours of cross stitch marathons, and it as a community builder, and it's just a wonderful time. And lots of people do videos of their progress or take photographs. There's a Facebook group, hashtag 24 hours of cross stitch, and the you can also use the hashtag on Instagram as well if you'd like to share your progress on what you will be working on. There generally tends to be 2 camps of people. There's hashtag Team Sleep and hashtag Team Caffeine. The Team Caffeine being those who decide to do the 24-hour rotation non-stop with no sleep. I am in the sleep category, and I will be getting a few hours of sleep. I intend to start in conjunction with Friday Off the Grid, so I will be starting mine late Friday afternoon. I might not even wait until 6 o'clock. I'll be starting late Friday afternoon, and then working my way into Saturday evening for my 24 hours. And this piece, I would really, really, really like to, I'd love to see most of the words completed. So I'd like to see this bottom border done and most of these words completed. The other project I'd like to work on is Savon, and also Miss Bingley's library. So those are the 3 projects that I'm kind of, you know, sort of thinking about working on this weekend. Whether or not they're the actual projects that I do in fact work on, we'll see what Friday and Saturday bring. So nothing is ever set in stone, and I'm a firm believer in stitch what I want when I want. Clearly, since this was like from 2 years ago and nothing else has been done. Anyway, the details on this, it's a 40 count linen. I think this is Patriot's Brew. It's an R&R Reproductions. Pretty sure it's Patriot's Brew. I'm pretty sure it's the same fabric that I'm using for my Modern Folk Embroidery 2018 seasons mystery stitch along, which is another piece that I really, really would like to get back to because it's so beautiful. So yeah, 40 count, and I'm pretty positive that that's the colorway from R&R Reproductions. It's a lovely linen. Let's see my hand through there. Hello. It's just a beautiful, beautiful linen, and I am using the called for threads that Brenda Gervais, her very self, charted this for, and really enjoying it. So there, that's what it's going to look like on this beautiful piece of fabric. I'm always off, but you know, one can dream. So normally I don't really like the 11 by 17 Q-snap, and I would have made myself a grime guard, but I will not be having grime guards. Just a side note about the shop, I won't be doing grime guards for a little while, as all of my elastic has gone into mask making. So I won't be making grime guards for the next little while. Those won't be part of the shop update that's coming up. However, so yeah, I don't have an 11 by 17 grime guard, and frankly the fabric fits fairly well. It's a little bit short for the 11 by 17. So here's a little trick if you ever run across this. What I do is I use some batting, or you could even use some, you know, extra fabric wadded up, and you stick that in the Q-snap. You lay that along the edge of the top of the fabric, and then when I put the snap on, that extra piece of fabric helps hold your, you can see how short this is here. It doesn't wrap around the top of the bar. So that quilt batting helps it stay in place and gives a nice, I have the same thing on the other end, though I have a little bit more overlap here, still not a lot. So that quilt batting just helps grip the edges of the fabric and gives me a nice, fairly nice tight surface to stitch on. Normally I don't like 11 by 7, roundabout I go. Normally I don't really love the 11 by 17 Q-snaps because I find them a little unwieldy. I hate holding frames now to stitch with because I have ongoing issues with my thumb. At the moment things are pretty good, so I tend to baby it a little bit, and holding a frame like this for any length of time would really aggravate it. And so I use this in my Lowry floor frame. But I've been finding that in this orientation, and I have the long arm adapter, I just don't like it. That's just my personal opinion. Lots of people love it. My friend Gerald, Ginger Gerald Stitcher, he loves his, he uses his all the time. I don't like it because the way that I put my fabric, the way that I stitch, the arm of the adapter rests right against the back of my fabric, and I feel like it gets in my way. I don't really love it. However, because I'm stitching this way, I've got my clamp on my Lowry at the side, and it holds it beautifully. It's not floppy at all. So I've been actually really pleased with that, because normally this is this size is my least favorite, and I know lots of people love it, but it's just not, up until now, I haven't really enjoyed using it. But that orientation, which I don't think I've ever stitched it in the Lowry frame in this orientation before. I just held on to it before. The Lowry for me is a fairly recent purchase. I only got it last year. So yeah, anyway, long-winded way of telling you about that. Okay, the only other little bit of crafting stitching that I have to share with you today. I mentioned yesterday that I had a piece in my UFO pile, in my whip pile, that was a freebie that used that Morning Glory thread. Well, it was, my friend Virtuti helped me out in the comments yesterday because she had done it as well. It is by Papillon Creations, and I should have remembered that because Papillon was one of the first French words that I ever learned from the show Sesame Street. Apparently I came flying out to my mother and said, you know, something like, I can say butterfly in French, or I came out saying the word papillon, papillon. And so anyway, side note, Papillon is butterfly in French, and the name of the designer is Papillon Creations. And I will try to remember to link it below. The name of the chart is called How Does Your Garden Grow? And it was a 12-part, pretty sure it was 12-part freebie mystery stitch along from years ago. And I am on part number 6, I think. It's either 5 or 6, I can't remember. I have to go in, and it's over there in one of the drawers. And I have to find the printouts of the charts. So let me share this. I'm actually going to use the Q-snap to hold this up so you can see it. So this is How Does Your Garden Grow? And so Papillon Creations, Papillon. I can say papillon, but can I spell it in French? I will try to edit that in. I'm not sure it's still available as a free chart. This was from so long ago. But I will do my best. I can't spend a lot of time hunting for it, but I will give you the information on what it's called and send you on your merry way, and hopefully you can find it. But it's so beautiful. And you know, you got to choose your own colors, and everybody, we did this as a stitch along with my shop at the time, Thread and I, and everybody's version had different colors. And so mine were purples and pale blues and pale lilacs and greens, and it's beautiful. So it also will be covered in little beads when I'm finally done. When that will be, I don't know. That's right there. That's a pretty good, it's hard to capture the true colors of this in today's light. It's so pretty. The purple is a little bit more vibrant than what you're seeing. So there are a lot of specialty stitches in this. You could do it one of two ways. You could either do the specialty stitch version or the cross stitch version. And I chose the specialty stitch version because at the time I shouldn't say I didn't know any better, but I didn't know myself any better, because lots of people adore doing specialty stitches. So we're talking about specialty stitches is just a generalized term to give for you know, working on a piece like this that has more than just cross stitch, so more than just the basic X. So you might have something called a road stitch or a Smyrna cross, or I was talking about the bullion stitch yesterday. So those kinds of things. And you know, the pattern itself, this freebie pattern, actually had the instructions for all of these individual specialized stitches within the pattern. And with the beauty of YouTube now, you can Google, you can search on YouTube for a how-to video on any of these stitches that are, you know, part of your particular work that you're doing. So I believe the bullion stitches were in the butterflies themselves. And so I'm doing the specialty stitch version, but in the butterflies, I chose to swap out that bullion stitch for a regular cross stitch, just for those butterflies. And then, you know, it got tucked away and I haven't touched it since. So perhaps this weekend I'll pull the charts out and I'll pull my threads out and I'll just review where I was and what I was doing, and maybe put a little bit more work into it, because oh my goodness, those colors are just so beautiful. So butterflies are so pretty, and all 4 of them are different, the colors in them. This border was really fun to stitch, I remember that. I'll give you a little close up there. Just so pretty. So pretty. Oh my goodness, there's just not enough time, is there? You know, you can even be in isolation for an entire month or longer, and there still wouldn't be enough time for me to do all of the things that I want to do. There's lots of things to be done though, you know, I still have a family who's here all the time, and I am still working. I work, as you know, I work from home, and you know, there's always something to be done. Okay, I have a few other, when I pulled How Does Your Garden Grow out, it was actually rolled up in a few other works in progress, and maybe I'll share those tomorrow as the Toss the Stash day. There was nothing in the mail yesterday. I'm about to check this afternoon, so my fingers are crossed that possibly there's 1 or 2 packages in there for me to share with you tomorrow, to tell you about. But as of yet, you know, I think we just need to be patient with these things. Life is not normal at the moment, so I'll just put my patience pants on and wait a little bit longer. I do need to take Luna for a walk. I need to I have many of you know, I taught piano and flute lessons for many years. I am mostly retired from doing that now. I have one younger flute student left who I'm continuing to teach until he has graduated high school. So we have 2 years left of lessons together. And so he is my only, at the moment, I was teaching an adult flute student as well as coaching an adult flute choir. But that has clearly been put on hold for the moment. And my adult flute student, we don't have lessons, video conferencing lessons. But my other younger student, we will have our lesson this afternoon at 4 o'clock. And I did remember Nicholas's bassoon lesson this week. On Monday at 4:30. We were there, we were on time, we didn't forget about it this week, so whew. I now set a timer. I set an alarm for 15 minutes before the lesson so that we make sure that that he doesn't miss it, because it does start to feel after a while like you know, is it Monday? Like, that's why I try to say at the beginning of the video what day it is and the day of the month, because I think it's more for me than it is for anything else, so to keep track of the days. And anyways, I have been working on some bags for a shop update. My project bag business is www.evertote.com. It is closed at the moment. What I plan on doing is having a shop update on May the 1st of bags that I will have ready to go. And so I will only be reopening the shop with bags that are made. There will be no pre-order stuff, no bags that are, you know, that I have fabric of and that I could make, just because it takes some of the guesswork out of how many orders I'm going to have to fill, how long that will take me because of everything else that's going on, having my family home full time, trying to help my son with his schoolwork, and you know, just life at the moment. I think moving forward for the next little while, I will probably, what I would love to aim for is a shop update once a week where I put a few bags into the shop that I've made over the course of the week, and then ship them out the next day. Okay, so I think that's all I had to share. I have some more sewing to do this afternoon before I get to teaching my lesson, and then it will be time for, by that time it'll be time for getting dinner ready and relaxing tonight with the family. So expect to see more of this tomorrow, and some knitting. Even though it's the Afghan again, I am hooked on knitting those rows of Sarah's Afghan. It's just a delight to knit that pattern. And I'm so close to finishing the 3rd skein of wool. I would really like to move towards getting the 4th ball of yarn joined into her Afghan. So just to, you know, it's not something I have to do, Caroline, so don't stress out about it. You don't freak out about it and decide you're not going to do it because you're telling yourself you have to do it. I want to do it, so let's see if it gets done. We'll see. Sometimes it's a game that you have to play with yourself, I think, when you have those personality quirks that I think are charming to people in the beginning of a relationship, but perhaps 25 years on. John now just rolls his eyes and says, yes, dear. Yes, dear. Anyway, he doesn't appreciate my jokes either, which I find really quite funny, actually. Anyways, I like bad jokes. What can I say? I find them quite funny. And thank you to everyone who has sent me a corny bad joke lately, especially Ellen of Maximum Cross Stitch Power Hour. Every few days, Ellen texts me a joke, and it's always appreciated. All right, folks, that is it for me today. Happy Wednesday. Stay healthy. Happy stitching. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.